So good morning. So far we have seen about what are all the different types of grippers over on it. So in continuation with that, we are going to see about an adhesive gripper on today. Okay. So the adhesive gripper in the sense, so it is a adhesive gripper. So it is a robot end effector which grasps objects by literally sticking to them. Okay. So when we are defining a adhesive gripper, so that is it is a robot end effector that grasps objects by literally sticking to them. Okay. The most important significant in the fact of the path of the adhesive cannot readily be disabled in order to release the grasp on an object. Some other means there is the device that locks the gripped object into the place which must be used over on it. Okay. The reliability of this gripping device is diminished with each successive operation cycle. So as the adhesive substance loses its toughness on repeated use. So in order to overcome this limitation, so the adhesive material which can be loaded in the form of a continuous ribbon into a feeding mechanism which attached to the robot wrist. And it is also employed to handle fabric and lightweight materials over on it. Okay. And when we are saying about an adhesive gripper, so actually the adhesive substance which loses its stackiness due to its repeated usage over on it. Okay. And when we are saying about it, actually this this adhesive gripper, so which can be able to used for it is a device which enables robots to pick up and hold the objects also. So whereas in the case of an so we'll have some limitations over on it. Before that, so actually, the major aspect of the adhesive gripper is that fact it is very simple because as long as the adhesive keeps its thickness, it will continue to function without its maintenance. So even though we'll have some limitations, so this substances loses its stackiness because of the repeated usage and reliability is diminished in successive operations. So the next thing we have to see about an vacuum gripper. So in the case of an vacuum gripper, it consists of two components. One to be the vacuum gripper cups and other one to be the vacuum system. Okay. So we are in need to know that the vacuum grippers are used. So actually they are used in the robots for grasping the non-ferrous objects. Grasping the non-ferrous objects. So usually it uses the vacuum cups. So this will be act as a gripping device or which is commonly known as an suction cup. Okay. So this type of grippers will provide good handling if the objects are smooth, flat, and clean. Okay, and it has only one surface for gripping the object. So we are in need to know what is the principle behind in the vacuum gripper. So actually, it will work when the difference between the atmospheric pressure and the vacuum, that is the negative pressure. Okay, it is enough to provide the ability to lift, hold, move, and moreover on it. And similarly, this can only occur when one side of a part is large enough and flat enough for a vacuum gripper to create enough difference between the pressures over on it. So, according to vacuum grippers, it will consist of two components: vacuum gripper cups and other one to be the vacuum system. So, vacuum cups it consists of flexible rubber cup and hard rubber cup. Usually, the cups are made up of elastic material and usually it will be in round in shape. So what this cups will create, it creates a negative pressure so that it will create the vacuum under necessary lifting power on it. So the vacuum will be created between the cup and the object. And the number of grippers determines the size and weight of object to be grasped. Usually the vacuum gripper is used for handling of fragile parts and the positioning of parts which is not as critical as with the other grippers. So in some applications, the objects or two things to be handled, so they can also be held by the vacuum gripper. So the lifting capacity of suction pump on the path of dinner, it depends upon the effective area of the cup and negative air pressure between the cup and the objects over on it. Okay. So this is the diagram which shows the which is device which is for flat surface gripping and for the contact surface. So when you are saying for a lift capacity of suction pump for this, it depends upon two things. One to be the effective area of the cup, another one to be the negative air pressure between the cup and the object. So I have shown the expression, it is F is equivalent to K into P into A effective or A effective to P naught. So here, where F is the lift capacity, so we know the unit to force to be Newton, K to be the coefficient, and we'll have an effective area, and we'll have a negative pressure, and PA stands for an atmospheric pressure, and PR is the residential pressure in vacuum cup overall. So these are the dual gripper, single grippers. So we'll have a different, what is the difference between the dual gripper and single gripper? So the advantage of it is to be lighter in weight and it will distribute the pressure entirely in some area. When you are saying about the disadvantage, it is not suitable for components having curved surface and holes. So it requires more time to build the vacuum in the cup overall. Okay. The next thing we have to see about and what are all the types of gripper mechanisms. Okay. So we'll have there are various ways in the for classifying the mechanical grippers and the actuating mechanism. Okay, so one method is to be that according to the type of finger movement used by the gripper. So already we said that we'll have four types of robotic grippers. We'll have vacuum grippers, pneumatic grippers, hydraulic grippers, and servo-electric grippers over on it. Okay, so this is the so actually when you're saying about various types of gripper mechanisms, so actually the grippers can actuate the opening and the closing of the fingers by one of the following motion. So one to be the pivoting movement, next one to be the linear or translation movement. Actually, the pivoting or swinging gripper mechanisms is the most popular mechanical gripper for industrial robots. So it can be used for limited shapes of an object, especially a cylindrical works over on it. Okay. Suppose if the actuators produce the linear movement like pneumatic piston or the device which contains a slide crank mechanism. So when the piston 1 is pushed by the pneumatic pressure to the right, the elements in the crank 2 and 3 will rotate counterclockwise with the fulcrum F and similarly with the clockwise with the fulcrum F respectively. So the when B is less than 1800, so this rotations make the grasping actions of the extender and the crank elements of the 2 and 3 over on it. Okay. So this cam and follower arrangement, which often using a spring load follower, which can provide the opening and closing action of the gripper. So the advantage of this arrangement